So I wanted to bring up the story of Donald Lee Taylor. He is sort of related to me. I figure this would be a good time as any to discuss his story simply because I have a few more eyes on my channel right now. And just bringing awareness to his story, I feel like maybe help the family because, like I said, I'm sort of related to him. He is he's missing. So, I'll just cut to the chase. He's a missing person. And I'll tell you his story of how he went missing and why it's kind of unusual in a sense. So he is related to me by marriage. I think he's like a cousin by marriage is how you would reference, I guess, him. He is okay, so follow me on this. My mom's sister, so that'd be my aunt, was married to, is married to a guy, that would be my uncle, and then it would be his nephew. So by marriage between my aunt and my uncle, he's my cousin, I guess. I guess that's how it would work. I've never met him, so even though I'm from the Texas area, he also lived in Texas. He was out in McKinney, Texas, to be more specific. He has a big family. So he had 6 or 7 sisters, I believe. He was the only boy. And he also was a little bit bipolar, and he was also he was a recovering meth addict. So I think he'd been sober for a while at the time of this when this took place. But and he was also a gay gentleman as well. So that doesn't really have any play in the story, but for whatever reason they always seem to bring it up in any other documentaries that you may watch about him. So if you Google his name or watch any YouTube videos about him, they always seem to mention it. But I don't see why that's relevant to the story because but anyways, so he is as of January the 3rd 2016 is when the last known whereabouts of him, or the last time anybody had seen him. And I believe it was done on a surveillance video or camera that caught him walking with no shoes, no jacket. He had no cell phone on him. He didn't have his wallet on him. And he was just out walking in a certain direction, which they have canvassed the whole area, like the whole family has. His family really loves him. He's very close to his mom, which is, they're so close that he actually lives with her. That's how close he is with his mom. And so his sisters, they all went out looking for him. They had big, search parties for him. But it's just odd because here's how the story plays out. He apparently went to go visit his estranged sister that is out there in that area, McKinney, Texas. And he, I guess there was some kind of party that they had went to that night. And the party, I guess he felt uncomfortable, or he got into maybe an argument, and he ended up wanting to leave and go back to his sister's place, his stepsister. But he ended up going back to the house with her boyfriend instead. So I guess she's living with the boyfriend. So his stepsister and the boyfriend are living together. And he went back to the house or apartment or whatever with the boyfriend. And they kind of maybe got into an argument or some kind of altercation. And he felt paranoid, apparently. And he decided he was just going to leave. So much so that he left without anything on, like no shoes, no socks. He had, like I said, no wallet, no cell phone. And this was at 3 a.m. on January the 3rd. So it must have been really cold, So that being said, here's where it becomes pretty interesting, in my opinion. So the detectives are the people who are now searching for him. And they have some detectives that are out there, scavenging the area, or canvassing the area to try to look for him. And while they're out there looking for him, they decide to start, basically talking to anybody who may know where he's at, the last people who spoke to him. And so they go to this stepsister, okay, and she is wearing his necklace, Donald's necklace, which is a necklace that, from what I've been told by the family, he never takes off. Like, this is his, he'll shower with that necklace. He doesn't take this necklace off. And she's wearing it, okay? She also has his cell phone. The police asked for the cell phone, but I guess they didn't have a warrant at the time. And so she wouldn't give it to them, from what I was told. And by the time they finally did get it and they went back to go get the phone, she had destroyed it or had been lost or something. It's something very suspicious, right? So that being said, she's never been charged. Nobody has been, prosecuted for this, person. There has not been any finding of Donald. There was in 2017 a some remains that were found, and I guess these remains were inconclusive. Like they could not they confirmed that they were not his, I believe, because he's still considered missing. So obviously those remains weren't his, which makes me wonder whose remains did they find? Like where did that part I've never figured out. Like then what did they find? Like that's what I would like to know. Like who's missing bones or body parts did they just find that were not his? Like how many people are out there missing? So I just thought it was an interesting story. I just wanted to bring it to some attention on it. But yeah, so if you do know anything about this, or if you know who he is, or have heard this story before, if you know anything, you're more than welcome to reach out to the family. There, like I said, there is a Facebook group if you search for his name, or even, like I said, there's other YouTube channels that have also documented this story. But it's just interesting to me that nobody has been formally charged, even with such weird evidence all pointing towards the stepsister. So, yeah. So, but nobody in the whole family knows anything about. Oh, one other weird part is apparently during that same night that he went missing and he had no phone, somebody tried to call his mom from like an unknown number multiple times, and she didn't answer because I guess she didn't. One, she probably didn't recognize the number, but two, I think it was like early in the morning, so she may have been sleeping. So to me, I have a feeling who and why would somebody be reaching out to the mom at that crazy hour, early in the morning, if not Donald, then who, So in my speculation, even though I'm not trying to like put that out there, but I think it's him. Like it was probably him trying to call his mom for something, for whatever reason. But yeah, so they never figured out who that caller was that was calling his mom, and like I said, and he had no phone at the time. So if you have no phone and you probably only have like maybe 2 or 3 phone numbers that you probably remember, you have memorized in your mind, one of them probably always being like your parents in case of an emergency. I have a feeling that was probably him calling his mom for help for whatever reason. Whether it be somebody's after him, he was paranoid that something was happening with his family, like his sister or the sister's boyfriend. I don't know. I just think that that's really odd that somebody would be in a panic calling the mom over and over and over again, and then they just dead silent and no other phone calls from that number or from that from that phone ever again. So that's all I have. But I just, like I said, I wanted to bring up that story just because, like I said, he's sort of related in the family, and I figure why not talk about his story, because it's an interesting case. So that's all I have. Bye.